So Mike, for the benefit of the recording, Mike's recording is only going to have one clap on it. His is going to start later. So we're doing a second sync point here. 3, 2, 1, Mark.
I'm pressing record now.
No! You have to already have hit record before.
I think the recording is
you
pressed
didn't
on
tell
the clap.
me when to press record.
Okay, we're going to do this one more time. Okay.
How could you press record and clap at the same time?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Okay, I'm pressing
that's
record.
right.
I'm just
The
pressing
recording
record
should be running,
okay?
and then we do the clap. Okay. All right.
It's turning into a round of
Nate,
applause.
this is now going to be the third time. And there's only going to be one clap on Mike's track.
I'm recording
Okay,
now.
so 3, 2, 1, Mark. Smashed it.
Okay. We've made it a round of applause, really.
Yeah.
All right, so start recording now.
Nate, please make a cold open out of this.
Hello and welcome back to this free episode of TF.
It's the free
It's
one.
the podcast you're listening to right now. It's free. You've paid nothing for it, you freeloader.
That's right.
That's right. And it is Riley, Milo, and Alice.
Coming over here, listening to our podcast for free.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
The populace.
yeah. Jail's too good for him, I say.
You can only listen to free podcasts now if you're an Islamist.
That's right.
Normal British people have to sign up to the Patreon.
That's right. This is the UKIP Manifesto 2028. It's
That's
weirder
right.
and more niche.
Yeah.
But we are very excited as well to be joined by Jesse Farrar and Mike Hale of the Your Kickstarter Sucks podcast. Guys, how's it going?
Hello.
Thank you very much for being here with us today.
Thank you for joining us, this barbershop quartet.
Yeah, well, I was waiting for the third guy. I guess we didn't have a third guy.
Look, when your two friends from Your Kickstarter Sucks 2 show up, the guys who do the same podcast with like a minute delay, then
They'll be here soon, and they'll be hitting record almost as soon as after they join.
Oh, not again.
The barbershop quartet has been devastated by COVID, and now it's just two guys, and they can't harmonize anymore.
No, it's...
Well, people don't want to work anymore. That's the sad thing about it. They don't want to
the
work
problem.
anymore.
Well,
you know?
the barbershops, they're having to resort to bribing the other two members of the quartet to come in with wages.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's really sad.
What happened to
It's sad.
barbershop quartets in this country? You know?
I don't know. I think that they're mostly at Disney World. I think that's the only place you can find most of American culture is at. You got to go Disney. You got to go down the promenade, and you're going to see all the things we remember from our youth. Well, when America was great, quite frankly.
Absolutely.
You know?
And the other thing is that the population of barbershop quartets has been devastated by the novel coronavirus because of all the adult children that keep going there.
That's true.
I'm just like, no, I will have my hand contact photo with Mickey. And it's like it's a different Mickey every
time. The big lollipop gets shared around. Oh boy, look out.
You can't sing with a mask on is the problem. Not to defend these guys, but I do see where they're coming from.
Barbershop quartet guys actually have a higher rate of death from COVID than nurses. They're just there. They're on the front lines.
It's the thin red and white line. Yeah. There we go.
Oh,
Got it. Got it.
Remember when barbershop quartet guys were hard?
Oh, yeah.
I do.
The modern barbershop quartet wouldn't last 1 minute on the storming of the beaches at Normandy, in my opinion.
I'm always saying this.
Yeah.
That's right. Fellas, how many barbershop quartet performances have you been to where they open with a land acknowledgement and then their pronouns?
This year, you mean, or...
This year? Not a lot. We've been in
lockdown.
I mean, mostly it's like it's a barbershop quartet performance like on Twitch, and it's like, yeah, I get you have to support the artist, but like you're not there, you know, it's not the same.
Not the same.
Yeah.
Not the same.
You know,
Playing drops of notes that are out of harmony.
Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, so I want to talk a little bit about a bunch of things. Let's look. I wanted to talk about this for a while.
That's what a podcast is.
To talk about a bunch of stuff with some people.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about the company Kickstarter because I think it's a very interesting one for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, you guys familiar with Kickstarter?
Yeah, you heard of it?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
Oh, we've heard of it.
I think what you'll find is actually our familiarity with the company Kickstarter is significantly less than you might imagine. We don't know what the hell. I don't know what's going on over there. It might as well just be, it's just like a thing. We just need to sit in a little cube and then somebody dumps crap in our laps and then we look at it and laugh about it and then move on with our day. But as far as like, where is the office even? I don't know anything about this. I don't know what they...
No, that's... Is it in
Gotta be California. Well, the loony left is that's where they're going to put all that crap all over there. So that makes sense.
Excuse me. I wanted to say classic. I said plastic because I got crapola on the brain.
Yeah. Where's the X in Kickstarter?
It's all over. All X's nowadays. Well, actually, we'll get into that, but there is quite a bit of that goes on there
amazing.
now. But before we get into the Kickstarter stuff, I regrettably have to bring us into British Politics Minute.
Oh, no, but it's a good British politics day. British politics is so fucking good this week.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's a lot of fun.
Rarely is it good.
For the benefit of Mike and Jesse, our health secretary, a guy called Matt Hancock.
Yeah.
Yeah, classic.
And hold that thought because
he came to, I guess you could say he came to prominence in our mind because a couple years ago when he was the secretary of a department called Digital Culture, Media, and Sport, there was a video of him like kind of half-assedly doing parkour and then saying it's a good way to learn about your body.
Not a good way.
A great way.
Yeah.
A great way.
A great way to learn about
and
your
then
body.
while like slightly panting, he just gestures to the parkour instructor and goes, "Yeah, I just can't do those kinds of flips."
Yeah. He is a guy, the way to describe him is he is a guy who saw an Amazon Alexa and felt like his life was changed. He has the affect of an eager but particularly stupid golden lab.
Wow.
And he'd been in charge of the pandemic response and has bungled it very badly.
Yeah. There's nothing in the rules to say that a golden retriever can't be the health secretary.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't. It wouldn't do a good job. And in this case, didn't.
No.
And also the other thing was famous for like giving out contracts, but he like got like the guy who works at the pub near his house to like produce a bunch of vials for COVID tests.
Support local business. Let's go.
DIY, yeah.
He basically turned it into a DIY scene among his friends.
Knowing Matt Hancock is the most lucrative business you can be in as a British person.
Basically, yes. I think at one point he gave away a favor for or there was like some allegation that he was like
it was reopening horse races.
Yes,
and because there was like some guy who was like big in horse racing who allegedly got Matt Hancock to like restart horse racing in the middle of the lockdown in COVID because he gave Matt Hancock a membership of the jockeys enclosure at Newmarket Racecourse, which was worth £1,300.
Whoa. So that's so it's interesting to realize every now and then that everywhere else there's dumb guys like this too. Like
everybody else is just insane.
That's
also.
It's kind of. Do you remember when Doug Ford fell down playing football? Was that him or was it? I don't remember which one it was. I don't remember which one of the guys it was. Ford. It was Rob Ford fell down playing football.
I mean, Boris Johnson did something similar where he was like on like a trade trip to Japan. And then, like you know how like when politicians go places, they like they do like they do like little like Potemkin activities that are supposed to get photo ops. So Boris Johnson played against like a Japanese boys rugby team and just sent one of the kids fucking flying.
It's an amazing picture of this kid just in midair with like Boris Johnson, a fucking like a man who is a perfect sphere, just like knocking him out of the way with an elbow.
I mean, what a jerk! But you got to admit that would feel so good to do.
King shit.
Look, what are you gonna do? Not win?
I mean,
everyone would say you were beaten by kids.
Yeah, that's not Britain on the international stage.
Anyway,
it was a spiffing game. Scored 8 tries.
So. With your introduction to your Matt Hancock 101 class now completed, a security photo from inside Whitehall, which is, like, that's weird that was just released to, like, the Murdoch press.
It's almost as though someone leaked it.
Of Matt Hancock, basically, like, who was married, having a very amateurish first kiss style kiss with an aide.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's grabbing her ass, though.
Yeah,
my man's
getting a full ass handful.
He's getting it in.
This woman, Gina Coladangelo, who he knew at Oxford, was also one of the biggest benefactors of his of the contract bonanza coming out of his office. Like, she got tens of thousands.
Also her brother, too, who is, like, director of some firm that, like, makes PPE now, which is cool.
Yeah.
Do you like Gina Coladas and kissing ministerial aides?
I sure. You got that one out quick.
Beautiful. Yeah.
But I think, like,
impressed.
Look, you're working in the health secretary's office. You're working long nights fighting the grueling pandemic that is,
and it's a horny job. Yeah. And how could you resist?
You're working. You're basically managing a charnel house of like just unnecessary deaths, and you look into that just open mouth and big vacant eyes, and who wouldn't reach for the peanut butter? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Matt Hardcock, that's what they should call him.
I just fucking retool the joke that I made more explicitly in the group chat.
Sure did.
About putting peanut butter on her pussy so that Matt Hancock would eat her out.
That's all you got to do.
Also, that's how they get him to talk when it's a press conference. They put some peanut butter on the roof of his mouth and they dub over it later. Anyway,
I just looked up pictures of this guy, and he looks like me. So I'm going to actually have to object a little bit to what we were saying about him being a stupid idiot who likes peanut butter on pussies. I just want to step back for a second and say,
I do like peanut butter on ass.
I've never tried it, but maybe it's...
Come on, man. It's good. I'm a civilized kind of guy.
What am I, vanilla? Come on.
Anyway, this is like, there's what I find very funny about this, once again, is like, there's a lot of demands for him to be sacked. If we've learned anything about British politics in the last few years, it's that you can just not quit. Like, being in trouble is just like something you do to yourself. You can just be like,
That's
okay,
idea.
It's weak to quit. So what are you going to do? Quit? What are you going to do? Fire me?
Keir Starmer has been like, yeah, actually, I don't want him to resign because question mark.
Interestingly, he's
cool.
So the Labour Party chairwoman has Annalise Dodds, lately of this parish, has said
charisma titan,
essentially
fucking
but said like, look,
suave extraordinaire.
He set the rules for social distancing at 2 meters, and they're in this picture where they're like kissing and playing grab ass. They're within 2 meters of each other. He's got to go.
Amazing.
Fucking got his ass.
Yep. Technicality.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I think what liberals internalized about the fight against Al Capone was that he was gotten on a technicality, and that's it. They were okay, it's going to be technicalities all the way.
What I love about this is that it's the least sackable thing he's done in months. Like, this is like the
120,000 extra dead.
Look, my man. Like, if there's one thing, I'm happy for Matt that he's getting it in. That's all I'm saying. I'm less glad about the deaths. I'm less glad about that. But if he's getting it in, that's fine. I don't want him to resign for this.
Mm-hmm. Who was sitting on this image for months and then just decided to... It's weird
I fully got my tinfoil hat on about this. The government has absolutely decided it's time for Maddie to go, and someone's leaked this. Yeah.
It's just, it does seem interesting that, it is fun when you just sort of get to be aware that, like, into all of the press that's basically all controlled by Rupert Murdoch or clones of Rupert Murdoch just sits on incriminating information about everyone in the government for a while and then releases it when it's convenient for someone. It feels like a really good democracy.
That'll make you go nuts, huh?
Yeah, it's constant tinfoil hat shit over here in Britain, boys. Gotta say.
I think we're on track for this with Matt Gaetz as well, who is like let's see. I'll say it carefully. There is
embroiled.
There's maybe some circumstantial evidence to suggest that he's like a psycho pedophile, and he's allegedly, according to the press, which you can't trust as far as you can throw it these days. He's in a couple of months he's going to get fired for like microwaving fish in the break room at Congress or wherever he works or whatever that is.
He should be fired for that, to be fair.
And it stinks. It smells so freaking bad. What the crap?
And also, it was microwaving fish.
Unless you're planning on. Unless you're planning on cleaning out the microwave, just don't.
Sandwich.
So
get a sandwich in the congressional cafe. They sell them there for that reason.
Matt Gaetz knew the risks when he microwaved fish. At the end of the day, him and his nephew. Okay,
look, there's a social contract in the Constitution that says, do not steal from my lunch, and if you microwave fish, you have to air it out. And don't make new coffee
if you and your hunky nephew go near that microwave one more time.
I really hope Nestor comes out of this okay.
We're praying for Nestor, aren't we?
Yeah.
Has anybody checked on Nestor? Or
can we get a wellness check on Nestor?
Somebody should check on Nestor.
Anyway.
Prince Harry to check in on Nestor.
So the very funny thing, sort of
check in on your bloke, on your nephews.
So look, in conclusion, Matt Hancock, everything he does is very funny just by the nature of who he is and his affect, not his appearance, but his affect.
Thank you.
Yeah, there we go.
I think you can have a little snog every now and again in moderation as a treat. I think it's perfectly healthy.
Yeah, I mean, cheating on your wife with somebody else who is cheating on their husband is not great, I guess. But like,
bonanza of contracts.
But like, he's a Tory MP. They're all cheating on their wives allegedly, not actionably. But I mean, that's like the point of being a Tory MP.
Probably.
Oh, it's stressful. It's stressful as all heck. Like you said, all these people dying. He's sitting here going, "Geez, Louise, what am I
what am I going to do? I got this hard on. What am I going to do with it?
I've broken both of my hands giving out these contracts.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I'm going to retract that. I'm going to say no one's cheating on their wife. Matt Hancock's not cheating on his wife, just like we know Keir Starmer's not cheating on his wife.
Oh, speaking of Starmer,
that's right.
Speaking of Starmer, before we get into the Kickstarter stuff, I have one more thing about Starmer, which is, and again,
I remember him.
Yeah, remember
I
that
welcome
guy.
Matt Hancock, but I have one more thing.
Yeah, which is basically after hiring another new Labour dinosaur, Matthew Doyle. Labour has now come out with a pledge
Andrew's brother
to number one, ditch the funded, because basically we used to have, or we were trying to build in this country a system of social care, which is caring for you at home before you need medical treatment or whatever, because an NHS for outside the hospital more or less, and for elder care and all this.
Yeah.
And Labour, the previous administration, of course, was going to say we're going to have a social care service like the NHS, which was great and was going to save the country a lot of money, and it's also going to save a ton of life. It would be generally very good. Labour has now dropped that because they're saying, oh, that's another stick for the Tories to beat us with, and they've replaced it with a new policy.
Having good policies is a stick for the Tories to beat you with.
Because that's what everyone hated, of course, was the policies.
Because you have to appeal to Tory voters. Yeah. That's the only way you win on the left.
So what he's changed is, instead of that thing, which would save lives and improve people's quality of life and so on, Starmer has highlighted the blight of off-road bikes and high-powered cars being raced through residential neighborhoods.
Oh, that's
May
really
I just
annoying.
say,
Couple games left.
Yeah.
Keir Starmer, you can pry my convertible out of my cold dead hands. I will fight you for it.
He says, as chief prosecutor, I saw too many examples of crimes perceived as low level not being tackled quickly enough before they escalate. So he says,
this is like a Kamala Harris level thing of being pathologically unable to not say when I was a cop.
And also he's like, hey, broken window theory, that went great everywhere else it's been applied. Let's do it here, but specifically tuned to the just broken and twisted minds of people who live in British suburbs.
He's just powerfully Alan Partridge.
Yeah.
Look, local wrong'uns, shits, okay? They have daubed some obscene words on the side of my car, and I think this is an important issue to resolve with the voters.
He becomes Alan Partridge more every single day.
Yeah. Look, that says Starmer's a knobhead. Do you think that's acceptable in this day and age?
It is astonishing that it's
they've drawn a little knob and put my face on it.
It is astonishing that it's so fucking. I imagine you guys sort of feel this as well, sort of seeing the Bernie moment pass and the Democrats replace stuff that they were going to do that's going to improve people's lives with we're going to cancel $10 of student debt for one guy. To see this, we have all these things that we could do that will make Britain a decent place to grow old in or whatever.
Yeah. And they're a huge win-win. They save the government money, they've improved people's lives.
And we're going to replace that by cracking down on the guys riding motorbikes through your through your street.
Yeah,
it's just so depressing.
But the other thing is that they actually won't even do that part. Even if that were something that was that was my big thing and it was really important to me and I accepted
my campaign promise. Yeah. It turns out it's hard to do. That's all they have to say is when they get in office, it's it turns out it's hard to, it's these other guys over here that it's not me.
This is human psychology. You fucking make a big deal out of the shit you're going to do and it scratches that itch and you don't have to actually do it. Don't announce your shit.
And then because in 4 years, it's you can just.
This is what I would say. Just work on your shit quietly. When it's ready, then you announce it. Who's going to be mad at you?
I really like the idea of just fully doing this as national priority number one. Is we hire 500,000 more cops and they're all chasing around kids on little bikes.
We have to get Dave Courtney's men in.
Fiestas. Yeah.
We've got a lot of wide geezers chasing guys on motorbikes.
We're finally.
We get rid of the height requirement for the police and replace it with a width requirement.
They're just clotheslining you off off your motorbike with a forearm the thickness of your head.
We're finally going to solve it's basically Keir Starmer promises to get the kids off your lawn, more or less.
Yeah. Also, the cops will be on the lawn with the loud bikes as well, right? Am I misunderstanding how this is going to be applied?
Yeah,
you thought you hated loud bikes now. Wait till we get our boys out there.
Well, these are loud, but they're being loud on my behalf. That's a loudness that scares the bad guys.
Cop loud, it's good.
Yeah, cop loud.
Yeah, I love listening to sirens. It's so relaxing.
All right, so I think that's all the British politics I have the stomach for today. I'd want to go into our central topic, which is Kickstarter. So I want to just before I sort of get into Kickstarter, right? you've been doing YKS for a while. I'm a big fan of the show. I recommend people listen to it. How did you sort of come across Kickstarter as your sort of rich vein of content?
Mike, you had been writing about it in sort of your capacity as a journalist for a while before it took off as a podcast program.
I was just doing it for fun, and I said, you know what? Why don't I'm so passionate about this. I think I started
crowdfunding, basically.
Yeah, a real passion for crowdfunding.
I'm just trying. You're trying to improve the crowdfunding economy by highlighting it.
That's
this
it.
is constructive criticism.
It's right.
Your Kickstarter could be better was the original title, but didn't pop. It was cut off by Apple Podcasts.
I think I started as a blog in like 2008 on Tumblr or something, and then
they took the porn out. So
they took the porn out. You had to go.
This.
Yeah. Originally, your hentai sucks had to
change. Your dream of the fisherman's wife.
There was, actually not that long ago, a couple years ago, we did like rip the whole website and archive the contents of it because we really thought, this is a matter of time before people stop doing this. And we were wrong. We could not have been more wrong about that. People continue to do it. I mean, every single week there are, I don't know, dozens or hundreds of new things to potentially make fun of. So that I think that is pure luck. I don't know why anyone would continue to do it, to be quite honest with you. So
I think that kind of leads me to like
the show.
That's right.
I don't know why.
Ooh, sparks are flying.
Yeah, we can see you there, both trapped in the abyss. Is this part of a purgatory thing for you? Yeah.
Have you been cursed by some kind of a witch? And as soon as you do enough Kickstarters, like you'll be free.
Well, get out of the fucking bottle.
We just do one funny show, and we can finally get out.
Yeah. For the benefit of the listener, both of the guys have these like perfect ink black backgrounds, like they're coming at us from like a kind of liminal space.
Yeah, because they are.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's a perfect liminal space. So like one of the things that like we spoke about for over the last couple of days, right, is trying to be like, we know Kickstarter, it's ostensibly like a place where you go and you can fund a project, but what is Kickstarter actually like a machine to do? What is it about it?
I have a difficult time answering that conclusively because I think different people are using it for different reasons. And I don't think any of them line up with what the actual company Kickstarter would say about it. So if someone who works at Kickstarter, and I mean in management, not the people who are like doing actual work that are trying to unionize or whatever that situation is over there, I'm sure it worked out very well. The people who are like in charge of advertising Kickstarter as a brand would say, I guess, this is a way of making dreams come true. What would be even the most optimistic interpretation of it?
I actually,
it's a corporate Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah. So I kind of have that in front of me, which is when we started Kickstarter, our goal wasn't to start another company, which is good because they started Kickstarter and not a different company.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. That actually tracks really well.
Yeah. Okay. So far, 1 for 1. It was to create a way for artists, musicians, filmmakers, chefs. I haven't seen a lot of chef stuff on there.
Okay, that's
crafts people.
What would you kickstart as a chef?
Dinner? Well, the one guy
I need a lot of raw fish.
Remember, there was one guy that like kickstarted a potato salad and got like $1 million. So
that's
I guess okay, fine, that tracks.
Chefs.
Yeah, chef. Well, at least one chef. So craftspeople, designers, adventurers. Again, I don't know who's Kickstarter. I'm trying to go. Trying to go out of town.
Fucking Lara Croft kickstarting.
And other creative people to fund and build community around their ideas. We wanted to create a universe where ideas were funded, not because some executive thought they seemed like a good way to make money, but because people wanted them to exist. So their argument, to hear them say it, is kind of like that idea of make dreams come true. And also there's this idea of like, oh, we're democratizing the economy of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And
which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It turns out.
Yeah, it turns out a lot of useful stuff is made out of that.
I think so. Yeah. So it's very similar to Shark Tank in that regard, where on the surface level, you imagine this is just any old Joe Schmo with a twinkle in his eye, and wanting to make the world a better place. When in reality, by the time they show up on Shark Tank and are interfacing with Mark Cuban and Damon John, they are already like little baby entrepreneurs with millions of dollars and financing behind them. They have some connections already somehow because they've shown up with a product, right? Whether they're like I think I saw one time where they were like, we have a new idea for a line of like improved skiing and snowboarding clothing, right? And this is already a $3 million a year business or whatever the hell. Like, that's not just.
Are you on the show?
Wait, go do. What are you talking about? What do you need them for? You're not. You did it. You are done. So it's not someone sitting at home in like the late night infomercial of the guy who was like, I invented super soakers, and then 30 years later, we're all kind of using super soakers, I guess.
Every day.
Wait, what do you piss into? Yeah, okay. Okay, Mr. Smart Guy. So when you're at Berghain, how exactly are you soaking the guy with piss?
I get that. Right? It's the feeling I get from
use
it.
This adequate soaker.
a merely tolerable one. So
British-made super soaker.
So I get this
a moistener.
Yeah, that's right. Baz's moistener.
Baz's moistener made
Baz moistener.
It's less than lethal. So
yeah, Baz Moistener LLC has like sold millions to the Israeli Defense Force.
So I get the feeling, right, of a platformized version of like a late night infomercial.
Yeah.
And some of it, like it's also to say like not every Kickstarter is bullshit, but because like some of them are just like, yeah, I'm trying to make a movie. If you help me make this movie, that would be great. Thank you. You know, fine. Or some, but I think there is this. When you remember the business model of Kickstarter,
that's why we invited our friends from Your Kickstarter is Fine on.
Yeah,
that's right.
Your Kickstarter is okay.
A lot of them are okay, and I sort of I do sometimes feel like we are straddling a line in an inappropriate way when we're talking about people. We're talking about their projects that I think if they ever listen to the show, they would immediately be hurt, and I don't
Devastated.
I don't want to hurt everyone. That's you know, some people should be hurt, and Mike wants to hurt everybody. I want to kind of pull the punch just a little bit on some folks that it's just like they've just got something else going on that's not germane to creating a business. Not everybody can start a business, and that's why we support our small business owners. It's very hard to do as entrepreneurs ourselves. We know how difficult it can be, right? We don't want to cut these guys off at the legs, but like there's always some aspect of it that is mockable. So, like one instance of this is the thing where it's like you're clearly making a joke, and you are not someone who is online all the time, and therefore inured to the barrage of abuse and criticism and hate that generates from things like our show. So, like, there's a guy we talked about recently who came up with the idea of shot glasses. Okay, now, I know what you're thinking. We already have shot glasses. I don't get it. Well, there's actually a twist. They're little glasses you put on your face, and he's like 3D printed these little cups that can go into the eye holes of the glasses, I guess. Okay. And you can't really see out of them, of course. And also maybe
be hard.
The liquid in there is, it's what's the word where light doesn't come through it?
Streaming down your face.
Yeah.
Getting like grain alcohol in both eyes.
It's getting in your eyes.
That's how you get drunk.
You read a little more about the guy, and he's like, what was it, Mike? He was saying, it was like, well, I'm in lockdown with my grandma, and we're just kind of looking for something to do.
With my grandma.
It's like,
we're bored.
It's like, that's funny. It's funny to make something with your grandma that's a funny joke, but I'm still going to put it on the show because it's a silly idea. I don't want you to ever see this. So don't tag the guy and his grandma and say, these guys said you suck. We don't think you suck. We just think I probably will not be wearing the shot glasses anytime soon, you know?
But I think there's also there's this sort of sense of innocence about a lot of them, but also some of them seemed like deeply cynical. Yeah. Where it's like someone has sort of fabricated, much like sort of a lot of the startups that we talk about on this show, they have fabricated a problem. And then like they've just bought some like stupid solution to that problem on wish.com and they're trying to portray it as I found one of those that we're going to talk about later on where like as I read through it, I just fucking hated the people behind it and wanted to mock them.
Yeah, there is a lot of evil to be done on there, certainly.
There's the bulletproof backpacks one that was big when the school shootings were popping off a while back, you know?
I'd say there was
school shootings were really hot for a while.
They were hot. They fell
Sound
off.
of the summer was just gunshots.
Yeah. So there is a sense I think of like quite like I don't know, sort of there's a sense I think real sort of almost like predatory opportunism that sort of exists on this platform as well. And I think Kickstarter doesn't care because they get paid when projects get funded. So they just want to fund as many projects as they possibly can with some notable exceptions.
For sure. And I would say also, I would maybe level a charge at Kickstarter of looking the other way when projects do get funded, maybe in one big push toward the end of the project, when it seems like if they don't get another $5,000, they're going to lose the $20,000 they've already hypothetically raised. That seems like something, if you were interested in the integrity of the project, that would be something you would be investigating, which I don't know that they ever have.
They do not do that. No.
Well, it's because like their whole thing is just we're going to complete transactions, and if we start asking questions, that's fewer transactions completed.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's true, and it's not dissimilar from Patreon in a way, which is it's baked in that they have to be sort of neutral on almost everything, but when they're not neutral on everything, you almost feel like they got it way wronger than they would have if they had just shut up. So it's sort of like I'm not going to stump for like free speech censorship type of crap. But whenever they have pulled the trigger, they're aiming it at the wrong places. You know, there was one that we did on the show that was extremely nasty. And I almost felt bad even talking about it on the show, and then, you know, reached out to Kickstarter and was like, this is fucking gross what you have on your platform here.
It was a campaign that I started to get Jesse some new underwear.
Yeah,
and he was mad.
Oh, it's harassment, is what it is.
Yeah, that's right.
This is classic case of cyberbullying.
Yeah, I hope you took him to court, Jesse.
Cyberbullying on Kickstarter is a huge deal.
It's a big problem. It's a big problem, and I've since cleaned up. You know, I've cleaned up my act a little bit, so it's it's a moot point.
By the way, second pair, Mac Weldon, by the way.
Yeah. Starting a Kickstarter to wash Riley's stanky dick. We're saving up for a really big sponge.
Sorry, Jesse, go. So what happened in this situation, right?
I was just stonewalled. It was Mike, if you remember, this was the one that was like
the Nazi anime.
Is it waifu? Do they say waifu games?
Waifu or something.
Guys who are getting really horny for like adolescent girls who are also Nazis, and they're like personified like Panzer tanks and stuff like that. So like crossing several lines, in my opinion, maybe something you
kind of cool if it was done right, right?
Okay.
The right hands, obviously. Yeah,
the right hand is just not convincing. I really was aware that I was reading a Nazi tank comic book.
Alice is like, wait, I remember this Patreon.
Yeah, somebody on the Twitch chat was like, why are you backing this?
Yeah, that's right. Because it's cool. Next question.
Yeah. So they just want to get completed transactions.
Just a guy in court being like, but if the children are Nazis, surely it's good to nonce them. What, are you saying the Nazis don't deserve it? Are you pro-Nazi?
Just logic lording the judge.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, the judge is just like Gennady Zhukov.
For the last time, yes.
Yeah. So basically, I think I'll jump ahead a little bit here, right? Which is the Kickstarter organized labor drive, like the unionized Kickstarter. It remains one of the few companies where I think the slight majority of its workforce is union. This all was kicked off because someone made an Antifa coloring book for adults or whatever, not talking on the merits of the product itself, but which is politically fine, but probably just a little vicariously embarrassing. And essentially, this set off a furor in the company because Breitbart demanded that they take it down. And this was a case where they did pull the trigger and then decide to take it down. Yeah.
Like Jesse said, they do the fucking the wrong shit.
Yeah.
It's like fucking, what was another one that was like along the lines of the Nazi thing? It was like another one that was just like straight up.
I don't know if I ever went so far as to report another one. That was the one where I almost thought like, that was one of the few times I think in the course of the show I was ever like, we should actually like, we should care about this.
The ironic distance I keep between me and my subject matter is melting away.
Yeah.
My precious ironic distance.
Luckily, it didn't go anywhere, and now we're just back to doing the same crap. So that's good.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Kickstarter cared and then we were like, holy shit, just fucking rejuvenated our whole shit. We're like, we're doing a good thing. That was so funny.
This is organizing everywhere. But they don't pull that. They basically don't make those decisions in the right direction, and it was them deciding that like led several employees to like start a union drive, who all were coincidentally fired. Huh?
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, what do you think about that, huh?
Coincidence, probably. They're probably putting fish in the microwave.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, classic fish microwavers.
Yep.
They probably want to unionize to protect their fish in the microwave.
Yeah, that's
All right. Right, and so, but basically, the thing is, right, in addition to like this hostility to organized labor, Kickstarter is also a B company, a B corporation, and it was founded.
It's the B
Called
movie.
an apiary.
Yeah.
So, but it was founded by Perry Chen in the early 2000s, among some others, who was CEO until 2013 when he stepped down to do some bullshit, like genuinely just to do some bullshit for like the rest of his life.
He had an idea for a company.
Yeah.
He's going to try and get it funded.
Yeah, he's going to try to get his product funded on Kickstarter.
Yeah, he had an idea for this thing with like hot Nazi kids in tanks.
So he worked actually as the 2016 MIT Media Lab Director's Fellow with Joy Ito. So
that's a very
So if
serious
you remember,
job.
a guy basically like getting money more or less directly from the Jeffrey Epstein Foundation.
Okay, this guy really stepped in it this time.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein really into like pansies.
And then he also was on the Knight Commission on Trust, Media, and American Democracy, which basically was like a bunch of billionaires, like Bill Gates and so on, paid through the Aspen Institute for, again, just like a bunch of like just morons to come together
Billionaires
to compile.
Billionaires don't deserve to be on something as cool sounding as the Knight Commission.
Yeah, I'm afraid it was cool sounding. I'm sorry. But basically, yeah, it was like a billionaire commissioned the report from the Aspen Institute to talk about how like the news got scary and social media is mean and that's how we have Trump. It was like the one of that.
Right.
The Years and Years Commission.
Yeah, more or less. So that's what Perry Chen's been up to. But as he left the company, he turned it into a B Corp, which is a public benefit corporation, which basically means it's administered. Actually, interestingly, I think this is very funny. All these public benefit corporations where they're like, oh, we're doing stakeholder capitalism. We're doing like stuff that's like, we're not measuring our bottom line. We're measuring the bottom line of the community or whatever through as many hearts as we can fill. Whether your status is a B Corp is administered by a private institution called the B Labs, which basically lobbies politicians to give tax incentives to the things that it gets paid to certify as good. Yeah, so that's fun. And so basically, right, what Kickstarter does is it has this thing where it's like, we are for the community. We are doing stakeholder capitalism. We're not trying to get a big IPO and then get a big payday and then, go live on a yacht. We're trying to do something meaningful, and
rather have a big IPA.
That's right. Yeah. With the more aggressive of a name, the better on that IPA.
Yeah.
Call it Hell Bitch Nuclear Bomb, and it's so hoppy you can't even see straight after drinking it. And like the thing is, like as a B Corp, you do a bunch of things that are like, again, like generally laudable. Like they say like they hire from their gender diversity is better than in the rest of the tech sector. Like they pay like slightly more than average again for their sector, like fine. And then they're using that to advertise how good they are essentially. But like a lot of the stuff that they claim kind of rings hollow, right? So they say, oh, we never want to sell or go public because that would push the company to make choices that we don't think are in the best interests of the company as like a stakeholder driven entity. And it's like, yeah, that's every big tech company IPOs and then everyone takes home a big IPA they can go swimming in or whatever it is you do when you're a rich guy.
Oh, baby.
Lubed up twink IPA.
Yeah. Lubed up twink IPA.
Yeah.
It's 14% alcohol and it tastes like shit.
Yeah, that's right.
We're filling the Skybridge swimming pool with lubed up twink IPA.
That's right. And with lubed up twinks.
I actually looked at this.
Yeah.
None of the other big crowdfunding platforms have even considered IPOing. So it's not like they made
my
some...
lubed up twinks got fucking yeast infections from my lubed up twink IPA.
I hate that.
So no one else actually IPO'd. The only one I could find that IPO'd was a small European firm with a market cap of like 37 million, which is like very small by those standards, called Funded by Me. It's just like Patreon. Like I don't think Patreon's going to be able to IPO because it's not like they're going to make these like multi-billions in profit ever. Like it says it's a tech company, but like what does it mean if you're a tech company that use a computer? Like it's like they sort of disguise that the business model is like not. They're saying that they're sort of this wonderful moral organization, when in fact all the things they're not doing aren't natural for their business model anyway, right? Like you can see very much a smokescreen.
It's parasitic, I guess would be the way I would maybe describe it.
It's parasitic, but it's it's not parasitic in like a big enough way, like an Amazon or a Facebook or an Apple.
Right.
And so they're saying, oh, we're not like, we've designed this parasite that's like not great. Aren't we great for designing a parasitic organization that could have been way worse if we were better at it?
Yeah, it does kind of have the stink of walking out of the meeting where they found out they couldn't have an IPO and then saying, all right, everybody, big news. We are not going to pursue the IPO anymore. Yay!
This is what I found very fun was where they argued against the union. They used their B Corp status to argue against the union.
Good.
Cool.
Yeah, so they said...
It's more of a family.
More or less, yeah. Our perspective on this issue is born out of our work to build a new model for how a company can operate responsibly in society, they said. Kickstarter became a public benefit corporation in 2015. This is about unionization. In 2015. And we took this unusual step to ensure that for as long as it exists, it will continue to serve its mission, not just its shareholders. Again, its mission is to fund either like a Nazi coloring book or a stupid piece of plastic that'll end up in the garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, without that, what would Nazis be coloring in? Probably nothing. They'd be too busy trying to build the master race again.
Yeah.
So, think...
Gotta keep them busy.
Yeah, exactly. A Nazi busy box. Sure, the stuff they're coloring in is racist, but it stops them from doing actually racist stuff.
So when we make decisions, we are legally obligated to think about all of the other stakeholders involved, including our staff, and the wider world of artists and creators and society as a whole. We're still actively building this new structure and working to prove it's not only viable, but a new path forward. And Alice, here's where the bit you said comes in. We want to do this all together as one team.
Yes, you don't need a union. It's going to get in the way of our beautiful relationship that we have together.
We have a little document that says we're going to think about you. What more do you want?
Yeah. Why do you need a union when we're all in this big hive? It's going to get in the way of you serving the queen.
That's right.
Why do you need a union when we're all in this big swimming pool full of twins?
I mean, that is a good question, to be honest.
So they said the union framework is inherently adversarial, which doesn't reflect who we are as a company, how we interact, how we make decisions, or where we need to go. We believe that in many ways it would set us back, and that the us versus them binary already has.
It's a good scam, you got to admit.
Yeah.
Yeah, not being in a union is a kind of non-binary.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're so progressive over there. That's cool.
That is pretty cool, actually.
But you can see it is such a good scam where you can say, no, we are going to consider everyone. We're going to consider society and artists, but we're going to do the considering. It's going to be us who considers.
It's pretty good, and it goes hand in hand with the actual function of the site, which is not explicitly endorsing or condemning anything that appears on it, never giving any guarantee that anything will ever come of any money you ever give them. Yeah. Keeping everything at arm's length, just to say, hey, I'm just there's a really good post on Twitter, and I forget who's posted it. I'm so sorry. Don't kill me. Don't shoot me in the head.
It's time to cancel Jesse for once and for all.
The very good post is like, I think it's a gal talking about her boyfriend who is sort of a small guy and would become very drunk and antagonistic at the bar.
I'm just a little guy.
Yeah, I'm just a little wormy guy. Yeah.
And I can't remember if I'm making this up. Does he also say it's my birthday? I can't remember what he says.
Yes. He like gets in a fight with a big guy, and then as soon as he's about to get his ass beat, he goes, I'm just a little guy. I'm just a little birthday boy. It's my birthday. I'm just a little birthday
Kickstarter.
boy.
That's Kickstarter. Oh, the stuff on my site is really Nazi-ish. Oh, no, I'm just a little, I don't know.
We're just a payment product. I don't know. What is that?
Yeah. Like we're just we're a B Corp. We like for every Nazi coloring book funded, we do plant a tree.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Do you hate trees?
The litany of comments on every failed project that's like, I hereby invoke my rights under the Kickstarter terms of service to have my money refunded. Just people just spitting into the damn wind, and Kickstarter going, I don't know what to tell you, man. We're not a store, so we're hanging it. It looks like a store, and we take your money like a store would take your money, and there's pretty much the implicit promise of lots of products and/or services coming your way after the money is deposited. However, that being said,
it's different.
Trust me, it's different for some reason.
It's different from that. You know what it is? It's more like a claw machine.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, you might get something.
calling up Kickstarter support like, when I ordered this coloring book, I understood that they would just be sexy children. I did not think they would be sexy Nazi children.
What do you think I am? Some kind of freak?
Yeah, that's right.
A different kind of freak. So I've got a couple. I think like this sets up, I think, like that this is a company that is very, very good at making itself look like it is benignly performing that an activity not of social benefit because it is democratizing the access to products. Mm-hmm. It's because it's no longer.
It's a country that's very, very good. Gotcha.
You no longer have to decide. No, it's not the fat cats in Wall Street are no longer going to decide what like brand of wallet you get. Now you can decide, and it just so happens that the same people who would be doing that have turned to this in order to get investment that they don't have to give away profit for. They can just give away products.
Right.
And
that's well, existing companies do this, I think, increasingly. Also, I mean, the idea of what a company that produces products is, I think, has somewhat changed, specifically with the advent of Amazon and its domination over everything else. Because, in the old days, when I was a youth, you would go to the store and you would buy the one brand of, a barbell, for instance. But now you go on to Amazon, you type in barbell, you see all of the ones that you want are gone or sold by a third party or are used or whatever, and you get the AliExpress version. Or you get the version of, I don't even know what it is. You get the Sporzon version. That's going to be coming over from Hong Kong in 4 months. Or maybe it will never do that, and they have your money anyways, right? And those companies, the more successful ones, I think, have also moved over to Kickstarter, where they're saying, we've done this battery, we've done this type of USB cable or whatever. We need another type of USB cable, and we want to get the manufacturing line started. So if you'll just buy it up front, we'll send it to you eventually.
Who did that? Anchor did that, right?
I think Anchor is one of the ones that...
They had a Kickstarter, which was...
Are they also one of the ones that's been like kicked off Amazon for the reviews? That happened recently. Like, I think Aukey is one of them that's been kicked off Amazon for generating all these fake reviews by putting a little card in the package that says, please go on here and give us 5 stars and we'll give you a coupon off your next order or something like that.
Our webcam is Aukey. Is it about to explode?
I think, well, you can't buy a replacement for it anymore. They've been totally wiped off of Amazon.
Well, that's when they're more valuable now.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. So we're gonna put that on Grails.
I'm absolutely a sucker for that kind of thing. I will be walking through like Soho with the Aukey webcam on like a chain around my neck. This is actually one of one.
But that's actually, like, to me, among the ways to use Kickstarter, that's actually maybe one of the most ethical ways to use it, which is if you are a small business, quote unquote, and you've been making products and people seem to like them well enough, going on to Kickstarter and saying, do enough of you want this particular, do you want Lightning to USB-C? Do you want USB-C to micro USB or whatever? And if so, we'll make it. That actually seems like an okay way to do this type of shit. But... And that doesn't speak well of Kickstarter, considering the rest of the stuff on there is like less good than that, even,
And I think I've got an example, in fact, of a business that has, let's say, engaged in that kind of activity on Kickstarter, which is the Nebbia shower. You guys remember that one?
Yeah.
A what?
Yeah. So
is this a sex thing?
No, it's a shower that doesn't work in Europe.
Oh.
Because it doesn't work.
It's a different water voltage.
More or less. It's because our showers tend to come out from like hip height and then go up, whereas American showers tend to, what a country, come out from like more or less the top of the shower. So it only works if your shower is connected at the top of the wall.
I'm learning so much.
Yeah.
It's a process of cultural exchange.
Better experience, 70% less water. Like thousands of people pledged millions of dollars to bring this thing to life. And they say, back in 2015, we had a big idea to create a shower that dramatically saves water while delivering a superior shower experience.
And doesn't work in Europe.
It doesn't work in
those
Europe.
Guys,
Fuck them.
They deserve to smell.
We took that idea.
This is by Moen, right?
Yeah.
This is
maybe after the fact they partnered. Yeah, or like Moen, like in Moen's like Y Combinator, like their version, like the bathroom fixture version of a startup generator or whatever. They got together with these
Combinator. Thank you. Thank you.
So it is something that has like the look of something that should already exist, but why people got excited about it is sort of unique to this, right? Which is that it was endorsed by a celeb, and we can't get enough of our celebs.
It was endorsed by, for example, Eric Schmidt and Tim Cook, and the CEO of Fitbit. But the thing is, right? After getting millions and millions and millions of dollars of investment from tech people who like, and the thing is they get to invest in owning the profits of the Nebbia showerhead business, they still sell on Kickstarter so that you can put money into the organization on the same, like with the same amount of risk, but what you get, because you're not a rich guy, is a showerhead.
Yeah.
And
Pretty cool.
That's it. You get a showerhead. Tim Cook gets to make a lot of money. By the way, the money he's making is going to be yours.
A downside here.
Yeah, you need a showerhead. I mean, it's true.
Yeah, you do get the showerhead, but it seems to me, right, that when these kinds of transactions are facilitated on Kickstarter, which of course Kickstarter loves because they're able to promote them, they're high value, they make the site more prestigious, and all this. It was like, oh wow, you can buy the shower hood that Tim Cook uses, that Tim Apple showers under.
And the problem, of course, with this is even when you do, in best case scenario, you get this shower head and you're like, damn, this is a pretty good ass shower head, or whatever you would say if you're taking a shower and you enjoy your experience.
I'd say that tracks.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense to you guys to say that as well. Okay, because I didn't know if that was an
So
American thing.
If anything, it's a classic Britishism. Yeah, I love to go round the pub and talk about me shower head.
But even at that point, right? Something goes wrong with the shower head, or it shows up and it's broken, or anything like that. You've now completely forfeited any typical store consumer experience that you would expect.
Taking a risk.
You're taking a massive risk, even if it shows up. Like, shit goes wrong all the time. It shows up and it's scratched, or it doesn't work. Like you said, in Europe, the European butter situation was a huge deal for people just recently who backed this butter tin that had a nice place for a built-in knife, or did it weigh as well? Did it weigh the butter? What was it doing?
I think it had like a rest for like I forget what it was, but we have different butter over here. We have butter in like long sticks, and I guess you guys have different butter.
See, I remember. I've worked with both butter as someone who crossed the Atlantic. I remember the stick butter.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm kind of a man of the world vis-a-vis butter.
You're a man of two butters. So look at this guy over here. He's
a couple of sticks of butter. But yeah, as you say, you have the long butter, we have the short butter. Hey, what are these guys going to make something in common, huh?
That's just what speaks to how different we really are and why we'll never connect.
We're both using butter.
Yeah,
I learned an important lesson today.
At the end of the day. But so they're not even prepared for different butter types, which would be like an extremely easy thing, I think, to fit. Now, I didn't know it, but if I'm making a butter thing, that might be my first search on Google is like, does everybody have the same like butter and junk? Like, just maybe give that a spin and see what happens. Like getting to the part where you're shipping stuff out and British guys are opening it and going, oh my God, this is like, and like jamming the butter in the thing. Like, you got to figure that out well in advance, and there's no recourse for you. It's already in your house. You're fucked.
Yeah, it's the when you sort of take that relation, because the thing, so much of like, there's this contract, right? There's this assumed contract you have of living in like a consumerist society, right? Which is you're going to get the stuff, and the stuff is going to do something for you. And if it doesn't do something for you, you can demand satisfaction. This is pretty much the only part of your life where you have any power.
Have power. That's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I can determine the specifics of my butter dish situation.
You just have power over customer service people. That's the only power you have.
But it seems like what's happened is like, even in this case, right? It's like, well, because you're now purchasing your products on kind of an investment basis,
right?
You now can no longer return the butter dish. This is
no, but it does make you feel like an investor because you're the same as those guys.
Buy, sell, etc.
It's the same phenomenon of crypto. Now you're not just a guy who gets a thing in the mail and has to deal with whether he likes it or not. You now also have to be a booster for the product so that you don't feel like a fucking moron for buying the thing a year in advance of when you can ever use it.
Investor laughing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's turning the normal, that last promise that sort of we have for our societies, the bit of our lives we control. It's taking that away.
Yeah.
It's very funny
Well,
because
it's
it's like all the shit
democratizing.
about like, do you want to rent an apartment for like an extortionate amount of money, or do you want to be a cool digital nomad?
You want to live in a van?
Yeah.
Same
Live in a
vibe.
van, yeah. You used to be able to invest in real stuff, you know, like the boomers. They could just like buy a house and it would be like winning the lottery eventually. But can you just imagine if like back in the day you were buying houses, but then you had to go around just like slapping a house on the side and then just going like, oh, these houses are great, huh? You should buy one of these. In fact, you should buy several.
You should get into these.
They're great. Like, oh man, since I bought this house, my life has changed. You know, you should get into this.
Yeah, I think that's a good example of that one. I have one, one more on deck. Are there any sort of kicking around your mind that you want to go through, or shall we do my second one?
I mean, you know, we sort of sketched out some different types.
Yeah, please take us through.
So recently, a couple of these actually are both pretty recent that came up where, and we talked about this earlier, the guys who just seem to have the disease of wanting to invent things where sometimes it's that they have a specific problem in their own lives that they believe everyone else is also having, and they're completely wrong about what that is.
Well, all my twinks keep getting this yeast infection from my IPA pool.
Has this ever happened to you?
There must be a better way.
And so like there's this one we did a couple weeks ago, Mike. This was the toilet seat.
Already, I love it. Buy it.
There's a lot of toilet stuff on Kickstarter as well. I can't overemphasize it, but there's like a lot of Kickstarter.
That's when people have like their big "I'm going to be an investor" ideas
Yeah.
while they're shitting.
Yeah.
While
Kickstarter.
they're pushing out of shit.
So this is a guy who was having some kind of problem, or is like really concerned about the amount of poop particles that are flying around in.
So the thing is called Poopy.
It's called Poopy.
P-O-O-P-E.
I'm already invested.
Knocked it out of the
Yeah.
park with the name.
Perfect.
Okay,
Poopy's-
so this product was absolutely designed by an American.
Yeah.
There's just something so grating to my ear about poopy that
Poopy.
it's just, yeah.
It could have been a Dutch person.
That's true, actually. It
He,
could have been.
he actually lives
Yo,
in
those
Greece.
guys are fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a continental European thing. I clocked that immediately.
It's a special
He
kind
says
of thing. It
after-
dyes your shit black so you can use it as face paint.
He says, after many fights with my sisters and mother about the toilet seat that I would never pick up when I was in the bathroom, then always was problem the smell inside the bathroom that every time is natural to be.
Right.
Yep.
Mhm.
So he's
Okay, maybe
So
he
he's-
is Dutch.
So basically, the problem he's identified is that you
Yeah.
flush the toilet and then all of the poop goes
Shit
up into the air,
particles.
which
Mhm.
may be true, may not be true. I don't
know.
care one way or the other what happens after it comes out of my ass.
I'll eat shit all day
It's somebody
long.
else's problem. But what he's designed is so the typical toilet seat that actually covers the whole thing. Imagine a lid covering a pot. We're all familiar with how this works.
Yeah.
What if you sliced it down the middle and then again on the two sides to create sort of an articulating seat where you could piss through the top of the toilet seat, and then if you wanted to shit, it would open up all the way like a.
It's like the Ghostbusters trap.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's what it
Oh,
is.
For
Exactly
you
right.
turds.
And they're in
Yeah.
every
Ooh.
house now. You
Yeah.
can't move for them.
Well, it sounds very hygienic. I can't see it going wrong.
No.
He's also put the we call them ass gaskets, the papers that you put down on the seat if you're in like a rest stop or whatever, so that you
course.
don't
Oh, yeah.
you don't share ass particles with someone else.
Don't want to be
Yeah.
sharing those.
What am I, gay? Sitting on a fucking thing that another guy sat
this
on?
is someone who understands like
Oh.
truck stop bathroom cruising, but just thinks that it's sharing a toilet seat without using toilet paper.
He's also put that inside the toilet. And I couldn't understand because the video was a little bit strange, and also he pours orange liquid in there to demonstrate. But I think what he's created is like two separate caverns for the piss and the shit. So the piss and the shit don't even go to the same place until it's like well inside the toilet. So it
This
mixes.
is what Naomi Wolf was
Yeah.
trying to work
Exactly.
on before they got her banned from Twitter.
It's a religious thing. You've got to separate the piss and shit.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So like that guy just has something else going on that I can't relate to, and he's just tinkering all of the time. And
Poured so much money into it also.
yeah,
Yeah, and
gotta
piss and
fucking-
shit.
and
Yeah,
piss and
But
shit.
I have put blood, piss, and shit into this company.
He's gonna get. So you got to spend money to make money is the thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And you know, I guess it would be unfair for us to talk about Kickstarter without mentioning the politics of the projects that so often pop up. And I guess it's sort of decreased a little bit now with Biden in office. Trump was a catalyst for junk to be spewed all over the place, whether it was pro or con. A lot of times it was easier to do against Trump, like the book by the Krasenstein guys is probably the most famous thing ever to come out of Kickstarter. It's got to be, right?
Although I think people love doing like activism with their dollars and stuff, and like all the Trump campaigns and stuff were just like fucking so great for that, because it was just like one every minute was just like a "Make America Great Again" in Arabic hat.
Yeah.
Like a red hat with like, and it's just fucking all junk, man.
Yeah. Well, that's like everything here with like EU stuff. Like the FBP people are like completely insane, and they're always designing a new fucking T-shirt that says like "I still love EU" or whatever. And
like an EU flag dog coat.
One of the things that I think like you guys have talked about every version of Cards Against Humanity that it is possible to create. My favorite one, of course, is I think this was like from a couple of years ago. It was like the Trumpy Cards Against Humanity. I think I remember that one.
Let's see. I remember there was one that was for a very specific law school. That was recent. There was also the Mike. Was it Welsh? Like they're all hyper specific Cards Against Humanity references where we just read them and go, man, I hope this clicks for whoever the target audience is.
Very specific niche.
Cards Against Humanity IBS edition.
Because it's so easy to do a Cards Against Humanity because you just have to
Kickstarter.
You just have to be like. You just have to be like, well, I'm going to write down some cards, then, print them and cut them out. And then, hopefully I become a millionaire. I assume that's how it works.
Really low risk, high reward. And they know.
It's all arbitrage, baby.
Yeah. I bet I could become a millionaire just by translating that into Russian. Maybe I should get into that.
Did copyright.
Yeah.
I copyrighted it, actually.
Oh, no,
I said copyright's my idea now. Do you want to work as a translator?
I'll give you £50.
Yeah, sorry. So what this is, so we have our political activism ones.
Yeah, it's not dissimilar from if you've ever been to like a park where they've set up the little container. And me neither. And I'm speculating here. I sometimes you can pull up a webcam feed of a park, and it's pretty much.
Why would I go to a park? What am I, a pedophile? No. Come on. Why are you looking at a webcam feed of a park? That's my question. Like an agoraphobic pedophile.
They've got like the two containers of cigarette butts, and one of them is like put the cigarette butt in here if you like Baby Yoda, and then put the cigarette butt in here if you don't like Baby Yoda, and then you're just kind of looking.
Put your cigarette butt in this one if you're easily manipulated.
So it's a way to it's a way to like poll smokers what they think of Baby Yoda.
Yeah, and that's
important data. That is going straight to Democrat HQ. They're using that to triangulate policy.
That's Kickstarter in a nutshell. You put your $5 over here if you want to do the COVID mask with the rainbow on it, and you put your $5 over here if you want the COVID mask with the rainbow on it with the red circle and the line going through the rainbow as well. That's basically what it's for at this point for a lot of people.
Just channels like all of the sort of political enervation through just like signs you could vote to buy.
Why not? It's just as good as doing the other thing. What are you going to do? Vote? What are you, stupid? It takes forever.
Yeah. Oh, who has time? You got to look. Number one, right after the whole thing of getting up, you have to look up where the polling place is.
Yep.
And hey, with the Republicans in power, who knows what kind of documentation you need to bring there? You got to get your whole extended family there, taking a picture with you, saying, "Yep, this guy, he's legit." And then you have to find out where it is. Number one, you got to get there. Okay, like I'm made of time, and gas ain't free, and it's not getting cheaper. And then once you're there, you gotta read every single line of that thing, and like, come on, just like make a few less of these.
And then
guys.
once you've done that, you've got to tick the thing. You got to make sure the pencil works. You got to tick the thing.
Oh boy,
you got to get the little "I voted" sticker, and then you got to take a selfie with the "I voted" sticker.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Well, you can. I'm actually doing a Kickstarter for "I voted" stickers, but with a red circle with a line through it. So,
But I don't. So I think
TM. Copyright.
When Kickstarter goes away, I think the things that I will probably miss the most are the ones by people who, as I've said before, the nice way of putting it is just they've got something else going on altogether. I can't relate to them in any way. I don't know what's happening in their heads. It's very fascinating to me. I wouldn't tell them face to face that it sucks or that they suck or whatever. I want them to keep doing what they're doing because it is interesting. So there's a guy who's done several projects on Kickstarter. His name is James MPQ. And he has projects on Kickstarter such as Fresh Clean Air Shield, Roads Lasting for Generations, Fire Kill Line, your very own world networking webpage.
I have a question. Roads Lasting for Generations. Is he trying to kickstart a new road network for wherever he lives?
So this was where he wants to make roads out of plastic, I think.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Right,
Okay.
There was one of the similar idea on the blog like many years ago, and it was solar roadways.
Yeah, where they light it up.
Where they like put like LEDs in the road and stuff.
Right.
And they kept like exploding every time they would have like a test. They set up like a little test area. I think in Arizona or something, and like it exploded, or people like vandalized it all the time and shit.
Well, they thought that the L in LEDs, they wrote the L in LED lowercase, and so they ended up getting the wrong shipment.
Oh boy! How many times?
Classic.
So this guy. The one thing that we talked about a few years ago, I think, from him was called Fire Kill Line. And of course, he correctly identified climate change is really screwing up this whole crazy planet. And the wildfires are getting out of hand. So his thought was, I'm making a project, and what it is it's like somehow he was adding fire extinguishing systems to our existing power grid, I think. So think about it. Where is power? Pretty much everywhere, right? You look up, there it is above our heads. Okay, what if there was a bunch of like fire extinguishers up there that could go off when there was a fire? Simple, right? Why didn't anyone else think of this? You know? And he's got this massive plan along with the video. And the cool thing about James is his signature is adding like a sexy lady from Fiverr.
I was just looking at that and the bad Photoshop. I'm going to try to bring it up on my screen so you can see it, but it's very good.
And that's his signature thing. No matter what it is, there's going to be a nice looking gal on there to let you know this project is serious. Nice looking gals like this project. You might as well do it also.
It's a very kind of like 1990s way of advertising the thing, which is just like, hey, you know, there's if you could get Kathy Ireland, you know, in your corner there.
Right.
There she is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look at that, man.
Awooga.
Hubba hubba.
I love that she's not even that sexy. Like
she's on fire.
Found like
fucking
you see this normal looking woman?
She's a girl next door type, Milo.
She loves this. Yeah. You see this like your friend's mom from school? Like she thinks, to be fair, that is my type. But I'm trying to look at this through the eyes of the average man. Someone who's not a MILF obsessed psycho, you know? The MILF joker.
I kind of get that though, right? Which is like, this is a place where a lot of people who would have been eccentric inventors,
right?
It's like a database of them.
Yes.
Where you get to, they've put themselves into a sort of museum. And Kickstarter's main actual benefit to society is that it curates that museum.
That's correct. Yeah. It's, you know, Cameo has done something similar. You go on, you pay for the videos from celebrities. And of course, the greatest proportion of celebrities who are willing to talk into their phone for 50 seconds for even a couple $100 are going to be maybe the weirdest ones, and the ones that it's most interesting to hear from on a sort of updated basis. But Cameo has sort of closed off this like sideshow aspect to the public where, you know, once upon a time, it was very easy to go and look video by video by video. This is like this guy's whole day. This is the guy who guest starred on an episode of Fresh Prince or whatever. This is his whole day, is like doing these videos to people and sounding progressively more unhinged. And then you're really wondering, what is this guy? What does he need the $13 for? Like, why is this his whole life? And it's fascinating to think about. But Kickstarter can't close this off to the public because it's the necessary aspect of the grift. You have to be able to see this guy who wants $16.8 million to put fire extinguishers in the power grid, because if they close it off, then he'll never get the money and they'll never get their 10%, you know?
And the great thing is, it would cost more for Kickstarter to vet their projects to make sure only the boring ones that make the money go through, as opposed to this cornucopia of unusual ones.
That's
because there's we're experiencing a real deficit of characters, I think. And it's good that they are being collected.
Yes.
So
the easiest way to find them is Kickstarter they actually will do something where it's like projects we love, which is sort of the editor's choice version of
you
Kickstarter.
Gotta click X. I clicked
number
X on
one
that
thing
right
to do
away.
is click X on
I love doing that. With
Yeah.
Please don't look at all the awful shit.
The
that we have
VSOP
on here.
Kickstarter
Yeah,
section.
I was like,
yeah.
no, give me well, baby.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Top
choice.
shelf, give me well. When I was looking for a couple of Kickstarters for this one, I did find one. I did have to click off of Projects We Love to find the one that I liked.
Yeah. Let's hear it. What is it?
Okay. It's called The Card.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Hello, everyone. We appreciate you checking
Hi.
out our page, which I think is good. That's got my attention, and
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
It's like it's friendly.
Yeah.
It's grabbed me already.
this feels personal to me, and I appreciate that they went out of their way.
Hey, I am checking out the page. Okay, cool.
It truly means the world to us.
How did they know that?
It truly means the world to us as we're excited to launch the QR card. If you're
Okay.
down, we'd love to share our story with you, and we promise to keep it short and sweet. Now let's get to it. I'm hooked. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
When figuring out where to start with this story, we decided to begin with how we're both huge fans of business, entrepreneurship, and networking.
It's Matt Hancock. They're huge fans of business.
Sorry, that's one more little Matt Hancock fact. At one point, the argument over Brexit, Boris Johnson was like, fuck business, we're going to do Brexit. And then Matt Hancock says, I don't think you should say that about business.
It was so good.
He's such a little, he's
Defending the honor of business
he's a-
like it's his girlfriend.
he's definitely a 12-year-old kid who got bigged, I think.
That's right.
You know, business won't hear that, but your friends that are businesses will hear that. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
We've done it. Both done it for years now. Owning various businesses, attending tons of network events, exchanging business cards, etc. You know how it goes.
Oh no!
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
a business card that's just a QR code.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
You could just make that yourself. You can make a QR code and then just get it printed on a business card.
Why do it yourself when Steven and Christopher are willing to take care of all the dirty work for you?
Yeah.
And for $50, you can get one
Oh
yourself.
my God.
You can get a piece of plastic with a QR code on it. And then you can attach like your phone number to that QR code. So instead of giving someone your phone number, you can be like, hey, I'd love to give you my contact details. Why don't you take a picture of this piece of plastic and let your phone do the work?
I actually did something like this recently. Not did any legitimate business. I mean, what I did was I got a new dishwasher, and I was tricked by this because in the thing they had the little warranty card that says register and extend your warranty by 1 second, and that's really useful if that 1 second is when it breaks, right? Because then you're going to be calling up these guys. So it says you can go online or you can call a number. Who wants to do that? Or you could scan this QR code and that'll register your thing. And I was like, this is perfect. There must be some information on this QR code on this sheet of paper where it's like, this is where we delivered the dishwasher to, this is when it was purchased, all that other kind of shit, and I can just wipe my hands of the whole process, right? Wrong. What happened was I took a picture of it and then texted it to a number, and then the number sent back to me the link to the website, which I'm now filling out on my fucking phone instead of the laptop, like an idiot.
That's so good. That's
He
so
got
good.
tricked by a dishwasher.
I've been
by
tricked by
by a simple machine, an infernal machine.
Plus, I got stuck in it, and my stepbrother walked in, and then all hell broke loose.
You hate to see that.
Yeah.
I'm now just imagining the fucking scene in American Psycho where they're all comparing business cards, but it's all just QR codes.
Yeah.
But all their QR codes are in a slightly different shade of black. And it's like, why does Bryce prefer Van Patten's QR code to mine?
Well, essentially, they say they're saving the world too. You know,
Oh,
they're not
okay.
just saving
the,
you time.
Yeah.
The fucking $50 for the card was the early bird price. The $75 under that it says save the trees. Business cards kill thousands of trees every year and destroy miles and miles of forest.
Yeah,
So they're
Nazi
actually
business
doing
cards
good.
that have got a
And
vendetta against
crucially,
trees.
it's the business cards doing that. They just form
Yeah.
themselves out of trees to respond to demand.
Yeah, do you know what your business cards are doing at night?
Yeah. They're clear cutting. They're clear cutting in the rainforest.
Yeah, your business cards are secretly Canadian and they're clear cutting forests.
Kind of a Gambit X-Men situation where somebody's like winging the business cards through and it's cut. Damn, look at all those fucking trees. He's after Wolverine again.
So it's the whole thing is like, it's just $75, a small price to pay for saving the planet with
Not
this
bad.
piece of plastic crap that you
We're
can
giving
buy.
everyone in Gaza a special QR business card.
So the QR card is the card of a lifetime. This card will be the only card you'll ever need because of how it saves the environment.
Unless your phone number or address changes.
I think you upload it to like an app, and so you'd have to change it on an app. It's a worked through solution to the problem of giving your phone number out via a card, and it sort of works to do that. But
Why not just have the QR code on your phone and you can just
say
It's an app
or
already.
you know what most people do now, because we all have phones now, because everyone's got one of these freaking smartphones in their pockets, in my opinion, these days.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
people, the phones are getting smarter, but the people are not. What's up
Yeah,
with that?
well,
Yeah.
we don't, and so now if you're in a networking event, you can just say, hey, why don't you put my number in your phone, and then you can text me later. And they're like, what if we got to make a piece of plastic that allowed us to profit from that interaction?
I really want like an app that's like it's a digital version of the keys in the bowl thing for swingers parties.
I imagine you'd want that.
Do you know how many trees are cut down every year to make car key bowls out of old growth rosewood? No,
It's environmentally conscious because it's made using the burned remnants of like solar roads.
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
right.
That's actually good. I think.
So with the QR card, you can say goodbye to spending thousands of dollars on cards that nobody wants.
Thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars.
Thousands of dollars. How many business cards do you need?
Especially when you could just give someone your number and they can put it
Classic,
in your phone.
a classic fucking example of these guys saying like, this is a problem local to me, but this must be a huge problem. Like the guys who are like, what's another example of that shit, Jesse? Like,
Well, it's the guys doing the black and white, carrying the hose and bucket and whatever to the car to wash the car. It's like, hey, I just make more than one trip, or I go through the car wash.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Your world is different from mine. Have you not researched the market about business cards? Do you not realize you can probably search business cards coupon and get 10,000 of them?
like fucking 10,000 for like a
Yeah.
dollar.
Change supplier each time.
Yeah. Why do you think this? Or are you just tricking me? In which case, I don't like being tricked.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Don't like
look
being
out.
tricked. Hey, fool me once, shame on you.
Yeah,
That's
Fool
right.
me twice,
Mhm.
I'll get to check
Yeah,
my cards.
think a fool.
I
Think a
don't
fool.
like being tricked. And if you should think again before trying to trick someone who owns over $10,000 worth of Dogecoin. Okay, I do like $9,000, but hey, look, it's a lot of Dogecoin.
It's a lot of Dogecoin, all right,
Yeah.
buddy. And if that doesn't get you, I have thousands of dollars worth of business cards, and I will use them to TP your house.
Yeah, that's right.
Only a very small handful of consumer grade appliances have ever been able to say that they've tricked me. Okay, pal. So you better get in line.
What are you, stupid? You don't want to risk being stupider than a dishwasher, do you? 'Cause if I get one over on you, buddy, that's straight where you're going. Bottom of the totem pole. It's me, dishwasher, you.
And so on this page it says the card for the realtor. Okay, now realtors, that's a category of person who's meeting a lot of people, right? But the realtor is almost always going to be sucked into this little multi-level marketing scheme of their own ecosystem where like their broker has a website for them. They've got signs all over town. Like, is that also a place where you're going to be handing out cards to like houses? You're not going to do that.
You literally can just tell someone your phone number, or if you want to use a QR code, there's an app that you can use that flashes a QR code on your phone.
Right.
They're literally the piece of plastic in this transaction that costs $75 is at no point necessary.
It's for people who can't Google someone's name and find out like their
How
website.
the fuck is it $75?
That actually doesn't make sense. Yeah, why would that be the case?
Yeah.
Why is it $75?
Plastic is an inexpensive material. Like hotel key cards are made out of fucking plastic. Credit
Nice.
cards,
Hey, you ever try losing one of those at a Ramada? They charge you out the nose.
they charge you up to $1 for that.
It does say if you want a logo on the front of your card, make sure to hit the add-on button. So the logo on the card not included in the $75 price tag for the card.
$75 for the base model. If you want add-ons, come on. You want the luxury. If you want to make an impression,
Oh,
that
you want
you're
a surname on there?
gigantic fucking moron.
Yeah.
If you want people to know that you're really easy to trick, this is a perfect product for you.
That's right.
You're gonna say, "Hey, you join the dishwasher, buddy. You're gonna get one over on me."
Wow.
It's really killed the wallet inspection game because there's nothing to inspect anymore.
just
It's
a
just all
QR.
QR
Yeah.
codes. Yeah.
I
Hey,
give
that's
this
a-
QR. But
Yeah. So I noticed we've been going for a while. So I think it's probably time to bring our festivities here to a close. So I guess I just want to say, Mike and Jesse, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today.
Thanks for having us. This was a lot of fun. I enjoyed sounding really smart and impressing upon your audience. Our vast knowledge of not only Kickstarter, but I think British politics as well. I think people were pretty much vibing to what we were saying, right?
You guys are basically ready to join the House of Lords.
Yeah.
You can put on the fancy cloak they wear.
Okay, and what? Stuff. Just real quick, what is that? Is that now? What is? Do I need to?
It's our Senate, but it's our Senate.
But it's not as important as the Senate.
You get appointed to it. And also you can be a hereditary. It's pretty ugly. Not good.
Yeah.
You guys have to go in.
Robes,
you guys have to go in and clean it up. That's your next task.
Let's go, Mike. Let's go.
Yeah.
Your hereditary period sucks.
Should I start recording?
Yeah, by the way, if you guys want to join the mailing list to come on again, you should scan the QR code that's on your screen now.
So yeah, I guess we've had our pre-show chat. I guess we're ready to start recording and kick this thing off, huh?
Yeah.
All right,
And
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
Mark.
It would be funny to end it there, but I do have to say, please definitely tune in to Your Kickstarter Sucks. It's a lot of fun.
We have a lot of fun on this show, folks. But
I'm going to turn my chair around and sit backwards.
Yeah, it's time to get serious for a sec.
Do tune into Your Kickstarter Sucks. It's a great deal of fun, and they talk a lot more about a lot more silly Kickstarters.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's right. That's a lot of what they do on there.
Yeah,
they have some fun too, though.
Okay. All right.
It's not all business.
It's not all business on YKS.
It's not all balance sheets and ROI over at Your Kickstarter Sucks. We have a few japes in there.
They get a couple of laughs in.
It's mostly investment advice, but from time to time.
And by the way, I have to stress, it is investment advice.
Yeah, this podcast is not investment advice. Their podcast is investment advice.
Who boy is it actionably investment advice that you should take?
Yeah,
trust.
absolutely. Yeah, that's legally binding.
That's legally binding,
advice.
And if it goes wrong, then you know what? You can talk to their lawyers.
You can talk to their dishwasher.
Talk to that. Yeah, the dishwasher told me to invest in Dogecoin. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's true. It's true. And on Kickstarter, you can get a physical Dogecoin now. That's true. So check that out as well.
Cool.
You're tired of the show, get a little coin. Flip it around. Who cares? Do whatever you want.
Yeah, go spend it. Don't spend it all in one place, though. And also, don't forget, we have a Patreon. Second episode every week, $5 a month. It's a steal at any price. This week, we have once again watched a movie about the early medieval period with Patrick Wyman and Eleanor Yanega. We had a great time doing that, so do check that out. Anyway, we will see you in a couple of days, and then you won't see me on the next free episode because I'm going to be on vacation.
Yeah, that's right.
Ronnie's
going to the north.
Yeah, that's right. That's where I'm going. I will not say specifically where.
Riley is going to be eating fancy meals.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
All right.
So if you're wondering where Riley is, just start going around fancy restaurants in the north.
Yeah, you'll find me at one of them. Anyway,
yeah, you will.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on once again. It's been a blast. And
thank you.
everyone listening,
A hoot.
We'll see you in a few. Bye.
Bye.